music. Shutterstock Music.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Black College Experience, a Thanksgiving episode of Black College Experience. I am one half of your Black College Experience team, Derek Thomas, here in Baton Rouge, and we have with me in Atlanta the one and only founder of Black College Experience, Keisha Kelly. What's going on, Kels?
Kels is still on the road on Highway 85 on her way back to Atlanta, but I'm a happy Jaguar, so as you said, we still had to do the show, so the show had to go on.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Before we get to the Bayou Classic, though, we want to handle some other business in the SWAC before we get to the big moment, because there were some other football games played in the SWAC on this past weekend. We had the Turkey Day. We had the Turkey Day Classic, which pitted my Delta Devils of Mississippi Valley State versus the Hornets of Alabama State. And we had this game won. We were up on the Hornets going into the fourth quarter, but we allowed them to tie the game, and then at 24, and then they scored a touchdown to win the game in overtime, 31-24. So my Delta Devils finished with only one win in Coach Dancy's initial season at Valley. But we had some promise. We showed some promise, played Grambling tough, played this game tough. So I think we may be ready to compete with you Jaguars next year, Kels.
I'm not sure about that, but honestly, this year, for it to be his first year, this was a good year. I can't agree. Valley has showed some toughness. They have shown some athleticism in a game against Grambling. And I know we're not going into Bayou Classic, but when we get into that, we'll talk about that. But they have shown athleticism, and they played some tough defense. And looking at it, it's always like, okay, that's Valley, but Valley has showed some tough skills this season. So, it's one game this season. It could very well be 5 games next season. It could be 10 games. You never know what's going to happen. But I think you just get the right coaching in place, the right things in place. Then you're where you need to be. So I think this is it's a great place, and I think next year will be a better season for Valley.
Exactly, I agree with you. I think Coach Dancy is going to build on this success. Hopefully, he doesn't leave because he's a talented coach, young coach. Young coaches like him, if they have some success, they get snapped up quickly. But in other notes in the SWAC, the Prairie View Panthers are still on their awakening tour, scoring another 60 points. They scored 63 points last week. They scored 60 points in this rivalry game between Texas Southern. I forgot what this rivalry game is called, Kel. Do you know what the Texas Pride Bowl? I think I saw Dr. Prince say the Pride Bowl. This is called the Pride Bowl. And it looks like the only team showed up and showed their pride was Prairie View. They defeated Texas Southern 60-14. Jalen Morton unleashed again 185 yards through the air, 1 touchdown, 111 yards on the ground, and 3 touchdowns. Marcus Hardy, 97 yards through the air and 1 touchdown. If Prairie View could have scored like this all season long, it would have been something different in the SWAC West. So, hey, they fell asleep when your Jaguars needed them to.
Right.
So,
and they can only hope, to see. Every year they're predicted to go third. Grambling's predicted to go first, Southern is second. But we, any given Sunday, the tide can turn, as we've seen that it turned this season many times. So, interesting to see again what Prairie View, what Duluth's going to do next year. Because Prairie View just had a bat, and it's like they unleashed the beast at the end of the season where they're outscoring the opponents, and you're putting up 60+ points on the opponent. So it's like a knockout. They're literally killing the opponent.
Exactly. And then Nico Hollins is back. We're going to see what's going to happen with that quarterback competition going into the spring for next year.
Mhm.
There's going to be some exciting football in the SWAC. Young quarterbacks aplenty around the SWAC. Now, before we talk about the Bayou Classic football game, Kels, you had a tremendous week, I guess you could say weekend in New Orleans. So before we jump on the Bayou Classic, why don't you tell our Black College Experience listeners about your Black College Experience / media / Saints fan weekend in New Orleans?
Starting with Thursday, I got the opportunity to actually, go to the game. And for anybody that's never been in the Superdome, it's the ultimate experience. Really can't even explain how intense it is. And I was like a kid, like I've been in the Superdome before for a Saints game, but that game was just a different vibe. And the funny thing is when I was in the Superdome before, it was Saints and the Falcons. But this was a sold-out game. It was intense. It was so many people. I think they said it was like 70,000 or so, 70,000 plus people in there, and you could feel it all through there. So, that's how I started off my weekend at the Saints game. It was really fun. I ended up talking to one of my old sweet mates from college, and then right beside me, Mario Presley, which is a former Saints player, he was sitting right next to me in our suite seat. So that was sweet. Well, as the weekend went on, Carr was there. He was at a Battle of the Bands. Carr was there. And then yesterday, behind the Saints bench, was Alvin Kamara and Terran Armstead. Well, they had told Kamara he couldn't take pictures with anybody.
Oh.
So there were no pictures he could take. So I just snapped the picture up. I was like, all right, fine. While he was walking right in front of me, I was like, snap.
Well,
and there was a guy that was...
Who was the party pooper who said that Kamara couldn't take pictures?
That was Bayou Classic rules. Like, I guess it was like the director of Bayou Classic. That was their rule.
So what if he wanted to take a picture with you? You still couldn't take a picture?
Yeah, that's their rule. So that's what they said. That's what you got to go by.
Wow. So,
yeah,
Kels,
so I'm like,
how did it feel to put that Super Bowl ring on your finger?
You know what? I'm not really a starstruck person. I was just like, oh, okay. He's like, go ahead and hold it. You can go ahead and hold it. And I started laughing because the funny thing is that Mario Presley lives out here in Gwinnett County. So he's out here in Georgia with me. So I'm like, wow. So, and then it was so funny because this guy said, as you see, this guy was like, yeah, he's like, I taught him to the student teaching on him. So, it's just funny that paths can cross like that. But even when I talked to Terran Armstead, our conversation went like this. I said, somebody from Southern knew him, and I guess he could take pictures. So I was like, I'll just take pictures. The guy said, no, I'll take your picture with him. And he said, okay. So
awesome.
When we get ready to take the picture, our conversation started off like this. I said, hey, we're in the same conference. I said, but I got to give it to you. Every time I see them say UAPB on the TV, I be smiling and cheesing. I said, and everybody knows that I truly mean that because I say it every single time. And he just laughed.
I wish I could have talked to him. I would have been picking at him.
He just laughed.
I would have been picking at him how we came back and beat his Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions.
I told him I think that they really won against Grambling, but, that's neither here nor there. I let him have it, but
yes,
he started laughing. I said, no, we're just not going to debate that. But, yeah, it was a great weekend.
Right. And we have some callers. Of course, we have my line brother, Patrick Perry, on with us. And we have a call out of Birmingham, area code 205, last 43625. Who do we have on with the Black College Experience?
That's me, Jennifer.
Oh, hey, Jen. How you doing?
Hey,
I'm good. How are y'all?
Now, she would call in, Kels. She would call in because I got to play her song because she is this week's Black College Experience Pick'em champion. The champion's here.
Yay!
And she is here. The only time you called in when you won, Jen.
No, seriously though. Sometimes I work on Sunday, so I'm at work, so I'm off today. So I'm just laying back and being as lazy as I can possibly be.
Yes, indeed. Now, we are ready to talk about the granddaddy. And everyone knows when HBCU alums talk about the granddaddy, they know what we're talking about. We're talking about the Bayou Classic. And I have to play that Southern University fight song because everyone who watched on TV last night knows who came out victorious in the 45th Bayou Classic. Kels, your Southern Jaguars finally got that Grambling Tiger and Coach Fobbs off of Coach Odom's back. You were there to witness this. Talk about the atmosphere and how did it feel to see your Jaguars host that Bayou Classic trophy?
Before I go into how it felt, looking at an announced crowd of 67,871, and then looking at Magic City Classic 65,000, and I can't remember the correct numbers. Looking at those two classics, it did come to me. You telling me that these two HBCUs, not these HBCUs, we ain't putting up numbers like that. You got almost 70,000 people. That's 140,000 people basically between two classes. Now think about how many people was tailgate. That's 20,000 people.
Right.
So just to see us put up numbers between Bayou Classic and Magic City Classic says a lot about what we're doing. Now to see us win was even sweeter. To see us win was even sweeter because all week we have talked about this. And I just want y'all to know, one of the coaches asked me, he said, "Are you going to pick us this week?" Basically saying, "Okay, because Keisha, I know you ain't picked us a week or two before." I was like, "Yeah, I got y'all. I got y'all, Skylar, picking y'all this time." But he called me out.
Wait. A Southern University coach called you out?
Yes, Skylar called me out. He's like, "Keisha, you picking us this week?" I was like, "See, this is what happens when Derek decides to share it everywhere." Oops. I was like, "Yeah, Coach, I'm picking y'all this week." And I was like, "I don't want to see bias picking y'all every week." And so we started laughing. But I know Skylar, so it wasn't like some just random person. But I know him. But actually witnessing that, sitting on the sideline, I think the first fumble is what set the tone for Southern. That's what set the tone with Southern coming out of the game. But going from that point forward, you know, it was full steam the first two quarters. I say it wasn't completely 100% solid, but it was enough to get through. Third and fourth quarter had me worried, especially fourth quarter, because I no defense. I saw no pressure on the quarterback, and I saw a lot of moments where receivers were open in the backfield, and it got me nervous. I had to turn away a couple of times, but you know, in this case, again, we came out on top, 38-28.
Exactly, and I know why you're saying you're worried because you know Southern took a commanding lead in this game. I mean, I'm trying to find where I have the score breakdown, but when I was looking at their score, I was like, well, there ain't no way Grambling is going to come back. They're done for. But, you know, Southern had some turnovers that gave the Grambling Tigers life. And when you are in a rivalry game like this, Coach Odom talks about finishing. Well, his team almost finished giving Grambling a gift of the W for Christmas, an early Christmas present, which Grambling would have been definitely thankful for on Thanksgiving. To possibly come back and win this year's Bayou Classic, which would have spoiled all the Southern University Jaguars' fun. But, you know, Jeremy Hickenbottom threw for 108 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Charles Wright came in and moved the Tigers' offense when Hickenbottom went out with an injury. Hickenbottom also had 60 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. Wright had 22 yards on the ground when he came in relief for Hickenbottom with that injury. Through the air, Grambling was led by Darryl Clark with 2 catches for 46 yards and a touchdown, and Devon Lindsay with 4 catches for 37 yards. Now, your Jaguars, Kills, made a quarterback change after the Alcorn State game. And when that quarterback change was made, you all have not lost since. That quarterback was none other than Ladarius Skelton. He was the MVP of the Bayou Classic. He completed 8 of 14 passes for 217 yards and 3 touchdowns. Kendall Callahan had one completion for 16 yards. On the ground, the Jaguars just churned up and ate up that Grambling Tiger defense, which had 3 preseason all-SWAC first-team members and 1 second-team member. That didn't mean anything to Southern. Devin Ben had 167 yards and 1 touchdown on 19 carries. Skelton had 79 yards on 17 carries. Kendall Callahan had 1 catch, but it was a beautiful pass from Skelton. And he caught the ball over 2 outstretched Grambling Tigers, and they collided with each other, and Kendall Callahan ran the rest of the way for an 80-yard touchdown run. Randall Menard, the 6-year senior, who was injured last year, had his Bayou Classic moment. He had 1 catch for 44 yards and a touchdown. Trey Smith had 2 catches for 40 yards and a touchdown. And the Jaguar defense sacked. And now ESPN is not listing the sacks, but the Jaguar defense was all over Hickenbottom to the point to where Kells, I'm sitting in front of my TV watching. I saw Lewis just get held all night long, but he was relentless. I know you saw the holding, so talk about how you view your Jaguar defensive performance and how they were able to hold on for this W.
Again, it's one of those things where we did talk about it. I'm one of those people, I don't really look at stuff and say, okay, they're cheating. I don't even look at stuff like that. I'm like, okay, because people wouldn't have to cheat, or we wouldn't have to use that quote-unquote excuse if you're doing your job, if you're playing like you're supposed to. And I think I did. Whether people know it or not, like, if you saw the picture, and this is the picture of me running like a fool, I was running from behind the bench. I was literally standing behind the player's bench. And people were like, somebody asked me, like, were you crying? I was like, no. I was literally behind the bench talking. We were back there talking because after the fumble, this is the fumble getting ready to go in the end zone. This is when we're getting ready to score. Southern's getting ready to score. We're 1st and goal, and boom, they fumble. So everybody's on the sideline, everybody's just silent. Everybody's looking like, what just happened here? Because I was like, okay, we can't do the same thing that we did last year. Last year at the very end, same case scenario. So it was like, we can't do this again. And so they're sitting on the sideline, and I'm telling you, I was like, look, y'all still got 12 minutes, 7 seconds. Y'all still got enough time to play and get this done. I was like, we're not defeated yet. Y'all haven't lost this game. Y'all got to keep pushing, keep driving. Y'all can still win this ball game. I was like, so don't sit on the bench with your head down. That's how you lose a game when you're mentally defeated. Keep going. I was like, y'all owe it to y'all self to win this game. Y'all owe it to all your teammates to win the game. I was like, this is y'all game. This is y'all year, y'all season to win the game. One of the players got up, and he was like, you right. Started running around there, and right after that, boom, they scored the touchdown. They started playing defense in the 4th quarter. And I still say this, you got to wrap up. You got to play the defense all 4 quarters, especially going into this week, into SWAC championship, when you get ready to play Alcorn.
Right. And just to let you know how far ahead Southern was in the 3rd quarter, the Jaguars had a 31-13 lead on Grambling. And then the 4th quarter hit, and Grambling scored 2 touchdowns to, make it 31-28, going into the later part of the 4th quarter, and Devin Ben sealed the deal with a 2-yard touchdown run with 7 minutes and 51 seconds left. And that was all that she wrote as the Southern University Jaguars stalled out Grambling on offense the rest of the way to claim a 38-28 Bayou Classic victory. And this means they will go on to Lorman for a rematch with Alcorn State. But PP, did you watch the Bayou Classic? What do you think about this game between Southern and Grambling?
I think everything was, the only thing that you can't account for, hardly anybody will account for as far as going into a game, is turnovers. Like when I saw they got the big lead, I'm like, okay, this is going just about as expected. But then when those turnovers happened and they got within 3 points, I was like, I know they ain't going to do this again.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know they ain't going to do this again. But then when they scored that last touchdown, like they're going to hold on for this. And it gives us the celebration mode. It's going to be whoever win the game this week. It just gives a fresh matchup. That's what.
So, right. Okay, is Jennifer, you still on the phone? Is Jensen on
Yes,
the phone?
I'm sitting here. I just had my phone muted. I didn't want to add any background noise.
Okay, so your take on Bayou Classic, and then I'm going to ask all of y'all the same question as far as where is this location? Because we're all hearing the rumors of the game being moved to Jackson. So, yeah, so I'm going to ask you your take on Bayou Classic, and then we'll talk about the location being switched from Lorman to Jackson.
Okay. As far as my take on the Bayou Classic, it pretty much went as what I anticipated. Elton is out of this world, and basically, the points does not reflect how Southern dominated on both sides of the ball. This is a different Southern team. I've stated that on another platform, but this is a different Southern team than the beginning of the season.
Right, I agree with you.
Pretty much what I expected. As far as the location change, now I will say this: the SWAC benefits greatly financially from the campus format. As we know, these big time venues cost money. So, as far as last minute change, the campus module is a good financial move for the SWAC. Now, with that said, I think we need to make sure that we're not being too cost efficient. And what I mean by that is, we know that on average the SWAC championship holds about between 40,000 people. There are only
Can somebody mute the phone? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Kels.
Yeah, there's only about 3 locations in the SWAC as far as on-campus stadiums that can hold a game of that magnitude. My 3 would be, of course, Jackson, the Mississippi Veteran Stadium that holds about either 65 or 62,000. Ideally, if we're doing the campus format, then that would be ideal. Southern Stadium holds 29K, and Alabama State Stadium holds 23. And I think you have the option to expand with their I think their heat or whatever. You can still add more seats. So with those 3, those would be the ideal places that could hold the crowd that the SWAC championship brings. I know it's an Alcorn, and I know their fan base is very excited about having the home, but we do want to be mindful that we want to give everyone the chance that do want to attend the game, that we have adequate seating and for the venue that's going to hold the game. Right. So that's just my opinion.
Well, before we move further, and you just mentioned Alcorn, there is an Alcorn fan on the phone, actually a former Alcorn player, a guy who I've known for a while. I would like, to get his opinion on what it means to Alcorn fan base and to him for the game to be held at Alcorn, and also, to talk about the game being moved. So first, I would like to introduce to you George Jones, a 1998 Callaway graduate, a guy who I've known since junior high and a former Alcorn State Brave. What's going on, G Slim?
What's going on, guys?
Yes.
Hey,
indeed.
how you doing?
Hello.
We're talking.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, G. Now, George, tell us, what years did you play football for Alcorn?
I left high school in 1998. I didn't play for Alcorn until the 99 season, finished in 2003.
Okay. You played wide receiver.
So we're looking at 99 to 2000. Wide receiver, right? Absolutely.
And I saw you catch a few touchdowns on my Delta Devils that year when y'all played in the Bina too.
Yeah. I think I had pretty good outing against them Delta Devils.
Right. Now, the SWAC championship question that Kels was talking about. Talk to us about how does it feel for you as Alcorn alum and also a former Alcorn State Brave to play on that team, play for Alcorn, to potentially have the SWAC championship game on the campus of Alcorn State?
Well, it's a huge feat. We had, by us having it on our campus, you know, everything being shuffled around. You know, they took us out of the NRG in Houston, and, you know, it moved us around. The schedule's over in Birmingham, and for us to play and for us to win and win that right to host that conference is huge for our fan base. I can't say the same for the SWAC as a whole, because I think we've been around long enough where we can have an established venue. Established venue where, you know, you can hold more people, you know, and accommodate more people, or more of a neutral site. But as far as it being at home, it's very exciting for our fan base, and it does help our brand.
Now, with you saying that, there is rumors that the game may be moved to Jackson, to a larger venue. As an Alcorn State fan and former player, you know, and being that you just stated that the SWAC should have a venue to hold more people, what is your opinion on those rumors?
Well, I think it's a bit late to change it. From my understanding, I was just talking to some alumni, and they were saying like UAB was predicted to win the Conference USA, which would been in Legion Field in Birmingham, where we were originally scheduled. And by them rumoring that, I think it'd be a kind of a stress to move the game this close. You know, fans have to plan rooms. You know, it's a lot to go into it. So moving it will probably be a bit of a stretch at this present time. Maybe if it was the middle of last week or something like that, it probably could have been accommodated. But I don't think that's a good idea right this moment. So
my concern here is that we have to think of this logistically wise, not just fan base wise, because I think that's the problem. Alcorn is thinking of, it's our school, it's our fan base. You got to think of how much Southern travels. Now, Southern travels, and I don't care if you're talking about going to Iowa, they going to travel. You look at Alcorn and Southern, that's going to be a huge game. Me personally, I'm not going to sit on no grass for no football game. That's just me. I'm not going to. I ain't just going to be crashing. I'm not sitting on the ground in no end zone. I'm not doing that at Southern. I'm complaining on the sideline. So if you're telling me that's where I'm going to be sitting at and I'm paying $30-some or whatever, you know, of course I'm just using that. If I'm paying to get in there and I got to sit on the ground, I have a problem with that. So to me, the neutral zone, I'm bothered. Yeah, I'm bothered because I was ready to go to Birmingham. You know, that's just 2 hours from me. I'm ready to drive to Birmingham. I was excited. When I got that Lorman, they talking about y'all don't have reception down there, man. No, bro. They said it's home. Hey, can somebody go live? I need somebody to go live for me.
Well, here's the thing.
Right.
One way out.
Who are we speaking to? Where'd you graduate from?
That's my co-host, George. Keisha Kelly. She's a Jaguar.
Oh, you're Southern Jaguar.
Yeah. So
okay. Well,
I need y'all to go live.
Your argument is legit. It's a legit argument. You making a valid point.
Southern don't have reception all the time either. Now we got more than one way in and one way out though. We don't have reception.
Here's the thing. The last game I went to on the campus of Alcorn State was between the Jaguars of Southern and the Alcorn State Braves. That was when the artillery broke the rushing record. That game was a sellout. It was packed to the max. I don't think there was a free seat open in the stadium at all, you know. So with this being the SWAC championship, this is not just going to bring Alcorn and Southern fans. It's going to bring some fans across the SWAC who want to come and see who's going to win the championship, you know.
Right.
I think it's a historic moment to have it on the campus of Alcorn State or any institution for the SWAC, but you also have to look at, well, first off, you want to sell out. You want to make money. Well, we weren't able to have sellouts in Houston. would we sell the game out if it was held at the vet, George? George, me and you the same age.
Nope.
I know you remember those old school Jackson State games where it was packed to the max full, where you couldn't even walk down the aisle to get popcorn. If we had this game in Jackson, do you anticipate it being packed to the max like those old school Jackson State versus Alcorn games that we grew up watching?
Right. I mean, not even that. Even the ones I played in, I had the chance to play in front of 50,000 plus in those games back in those days when Jackson State fan base was still strong, rooting for their team, and I think it will. I think it will sell out. I think it will sell out, and but the fact of the matter is, it's just so much going on and so little time.
Correct. I agree.
Right.
It's a lot. You trying to shift it on a Sunday or something. That's a lot because that's a logistics, and I don't know how far Lorman is from Jackson. Y'all don't know nothing about Mississippi like that except for when I'm driving through. So I don't know the distance.
45 minutes.
Okay, so that shouldn't be, still. But, when you look at it seriously, you look at security and other stuff. I just say bring it back to Legion Field. What y'all saying? Just go and bring it to Legion Field.
Well, if you bring it back to Legion Field, you're going to be sharing it with the Conference USA Championship, and I think that's one reason why it was moved.
No. Legion Field is open, sweetheart. It's open this weekend.
Yes.
UAB?
Yeah, it's open. UAB lost this past weekend, so they won't be hosting it. So so it's open this week. Yeah, it is.
So maybe that's the one moving back to Legion Field then.
Go ahead.
No. Can I share that?
Go ahead, PP.
I'm a little partial.
Oh, I can say it like this.
Hold up, people. Let Jen go. Go ahead, Jen.
Okay. I said I'm a little partial because, Birmingham is home, but I live in Houston. So either one of those would be a win for me, but it's not just about me. So I know at the lateness of the hour, Birmingham, although I would love for having Birmingham because, again, Birmingham has you will have people there. You will have, the hotels, the infrastructure is there and in place. Great restaurants. Not that. I mean, it's interstate accessible to both fan bases. But I would say this.
I like the way y'all guys keep taking jabs at Alcorn's location. Go ahead. I like that. I like that.
We just have to have some reception. Dude, we need
you'll have reception. And then again, too, Birmingham has hosted games of this magnitude. I mean, Birmingham hosts a big HBCU game yearly, so we can handle that. That's not an issue. But I would just say, again, I personally don't think that Alcorn has the infrastructure to hold the game of that magnitude. That's not a jab. But I think at this moment, if they move it to Jackson, it can be pulled off because most of the hotel rooms are not in Alcorn, so people had to drive off anyway to get lodging. So a lot of people are,
Vicksburg, Natchez.
Yeah, so a lot of people are not even staying in that area anyway. Because I've actually passed through. I've never been to Alcorn. I didn't, want to get off 20, but I've passed by the exit. So, the distance from Jackson to Alcorn is not that far. So you have, it won't be too much to shift because, again, most of those hotel rooms were not in that Lorman area to begin with. So you just literally just driving a little bit.
I applied for media credentials for the game, and it said my media credentials would be processed by tomorrow. So I'm guessing by tomorrow, if I get approved, we're gonna know if the game is being moved or not because they're gonna have to let people know where the media's gonna have to go to report to cover the game. Go ahead, PP.
Well, no, that's not necessary. That's a 48 hour, so they can make a change like that at any given moment, and media just have to go with it. They can make that change at any moment with media. You just have to go with the flow. Yeah, they can do that at any moment. So I think they said it's going to be just joking.
Go ahead, PP.
Okay, first of all, as far as moving it, to Legion Field or whatever? Oh, what is it?
They said Jackson.
We had
They said Jackson.
Now I'm talking about just in general, people talking about moving it back to Birmingham for the future.
Okay.
Yeah, no, because we had a signed contract, the SWAC did, and we got bumped. Basically, we had to move our game, even though we had a signed contract. We had to change our logistics on the fly because of UAB. So I wouldn't, I would kind of seriously look at that as far as going ahead in the future with Birmingham. As far as Alcorn is concerned, the one thing I can say about that is that as much as we want to say if Alcorn can handle it or not, they won the right to host the game because they did it on the field. We knew that the winner of the SWAC, the team with the best record, was going to host the game. You handle that portion on the field if you wanted the teams, if your school wanted to host the game, they should have took care of being on the field. Alcorn gets to enjoy the spoils of winning with the best record. So all this logistics and all that or whatever, they can handle Southern. I mean, if they handle Southern in a normal, doing regular
a normal
season,
game is not a normal game is not a SWAC championship, love. No, sir. No, sir. That is not the same, bro. That is not the same.
I mean,
but that's Alcorn's problem. I mean, let them enjoy all. What is it? If they can't get everybody on, let Alcorn worry about getting everybody on campus.
So that's
what I'm gonna say.
Point, but let's lose out on money because we want to take pride and ego over money. That don't make sense. That don't make sense though. Like I said, logistically, you have to think of this logistically. You got to think of this. You got to think of this. Like you got to think of this logistically. I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's true. They get the spoils of it, but it ain't like we're saying, oh my God, let's house this at Southern. We're saying let's house this at a place that's going to accommodate seating for both Alcorn and Southern, not just one-sided. We're saying for both sides, and you're going to have people coming from other schools as well. Exactly. So I get that, but like I said, I wouldn't sit in the grass. I don't know what other people would do, but I'm not that person. I'm a city girl, so I'm not sitting in the grass. That's just me, though. That's just me.
Well, we can have this conversation all night long about the location. But let's look at previewing this game. Everyone knows Southern lost to Alcorn 23 on their homecoming. And that gives Braves fans confidence with Southern coming to Lorman if that's still where the game is going to be with that victory. But we all know it's harder to beat a team twice in one season. And like Jen said, this is not the same Southern University Jaguar team that Alcorn defeated 20-3. Ladarius Skelton adds an aspect to the Southern University offense. Whoever it is, can you mute your TV, please? Or mute the background noise. Ladarius Skelton adds an aspect to the Jaguar offense that they did not have that homecoming night. Alcorn's defense shut down Bubba. I'm sorry, I forgot the young man's name because he hadn't been playing. But Alcorn's defense shut down the Southern University offense. But Alcorn's offense still only scored, I think, 13 points against the Jaguars' defense. They got a pick six to make it score 20-3. So, and if you look at the Jaguar defense on the last 5 games, they have been eating. I mean, they have been dominant. So this is going to be a different game than the homecoming loss. Now, I want to ask the Alcorn State Brave on the phone, my good friend G Slim. What do you think about this rematch, George? I mean, you played the game. You know how hard it is to beat an opponent twice in one season. You also know what goes into this rivalry between Southern and Alcorn. So what do you think your Braves are going to do to try and make it 2 in a row this year against the Jaguars?
Right. Southern definitely is a different team. I had a chance to watch them in the Bayou Classic, and they pretty much handle business with Grambling State. It's exceptionally hard to rock a team to sleep 2 times in a row, and then we come on your home field.
Rock a team to sleep. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we came to your homecoming. We spoiled your homecoming, so we already know that the intensity of the game will be, extremely high. So it's not going to be easy. You have to be focused, and you just have to play the game. And I don't expect Southern to come lay down. I expect Southern that they are seeking revenge, and they will come and try to spoil us on the home field or wherever they may have the game, because how things have been going. We may wake up in the morning, they be like, well, the game is in Jackson. And I won't be mad about that. Like I say, it's an hour 15-minute drive. I'm originally from Jackson, Mississippi. I played in Callaway High School, but I live in Mobile now, but it still won't be a big deal wherever the game is for me, because I'm coming, because it's my alma mater. But it's definitely a hard game to play. It won't be easy. I expect Alcorn to handle business at home, but I do not expect Southern to lay down, by no means necessary at all.
All right. Kels?
I think this is the case of Alcorn. They have proven their defense has proven to be consistent the whole season. So I think it's going to be defense against offense. We had the same conversation. This is not the same team that was playing. So I think in this case, Southern is going to have to jump out ahead of time, because of course seeking revenge from what happened from homecoming. We did have the quarterback change, but I think this is a case where they're going to have to jump out and score in the early. But again, their defense against Southern's offense is, I think it's going to be a great game. But, coming into, I say, hostile territory, you coming into Alcorn's territory, and we know how it is when you're playing on your home field. It's a whole different vibe. You got all your fans, all your friends, everybody rooting you on. So, I'm still going with my Jags to go in and handle business. If they take these next couple of days to get whatever it is, and that Gelton Manley, he does what he does, man.
Right. And if you look at Alcorn's offense, if you look at their offense, they're led by a three-headed monster in their backfield. Quarterback Noah Johnson, he can throw it, but his strength is in the running game. Then you have PJ, I think, was it PJ Williams, George?
Yeah,
and then you have Deshaun Waller, who has come out of nowhere to be the backfield leader for the Braves. And that's also going to be a good matchup. The Alcorn offense versus that tough Southern University defense. I mean, we know they have that young man, Lewis, who gets sack happy. And the Southern University's strength is stopping the run, I feel. So,
and that is their strength. So Alcorn's strength is the run game. We, like you say, we run a spread offense with the pretty much like a run pass option type offense, and it's predicated on running the ball. If we don't run the ball, we hadn't had much success. I experienced Jackson came down the week before last, and their fan base really had almost took over the campus, and with the energy, with the optimism, and you kind of could feel the energy. Even before the game was starting, the crowd was Jackson's crowd was overwhelming. You almost drowned our crowd out, So, but the game was slow. Jackson couldn't score, whatnot, and we kind of worked our way through the second half, and turned the tide. But when I say the energy that Jackson brought, and I know the energy that Southern would bring, it's gonna be a difficult game for us Alcorn State Braves, because of that. Southern's away game, but it definitely will be just like a home game for them, because their crowd will be there. There's no doubt in my mind. They'll be there Thursday. They'll be there Thursday night.
Oh wow! I wouldn't expect you to say that, G Slim. I mean, with the game being on your school's campus, we know Alcornites are going to come out in droves. We know Southern Jaguars are going to come out in droves. And then you're going to have the other SWAC fans who want to see this game played, because it is a rematch. It is a different Southern team. It is a strong Alcorn team rushing on the ground and defensive team. So it's going to be a slobber knocker. And we're going to be picking this game later this week with our panel, which, depending on if Kels and Manny pick, I know Kels picking Southern, If Manny picks Alcorn, you know, they will be tied for the season win league. So the champ will be decided by the Norfolk Liberty winner. So I guess we'll see what happens. Oh, then we have the Celebration Bowl, so we have to pick that game as well. But you know, this has been an exciting conversation talking about the Bayou Classic and also previewing the SWAC championship game because, you know, this time last year, we didn't think we would have a championship game. You know,
right.
But here's the thing: what if we didn't have a championship game? Who would be the champion? Would Alcorn be the champ? Would Alcorn be headed to the Celebration Bowl? I mean, they are 7-1 in the conference, 83 overall. So would they be the default SWAC champs?
Right. I mean, and the thing is that it's so many logistics that go into determining it. But, you know, to keep it simple, in my opinion, you know, they have the best record. That's just who wins. Don't you have to go through all the rules. Just, okay, this is who has the best record. This is who it is. And that will be Alcorn. There's really no question about that.
So, George,
but all the extra,
with that being said, with Kel saying you all would be the SWAC champ if they had not brought the SWAC championship game back, how did that make you feel? Because if Southern beats y'all could say, well, we're supposed to be the champ because the championship game was taken away. That's supposed to be our Celebration Bowl bid. Would all fans scream and holler?
Well, no, and I'm not being just a braggart, or I'm not just being one-sided because I'm an Alcorn graduate. But I think we have a humble fan base, and I think we accept the win as we accept the loss. We're not a real boisterous fan base.
Y'all not what now?
We're not a boisterous fan base.
Yeah, okay, so we don't know the same people because everybody on this phone that y'all both. Young folks, yeah.
So compared to a Jackson State fan, compared to a Southern fan, you think we're just as boisterous or more?
Oh, y'all are worse, G Slim. Y'all 10 times worse.
Yeah, y'all got T-shirts, banners, the red rugged cross, and everything else hanging. But I get it. When you consistent like that, I get it. It's pride, and I get it.
Right.
Especially since y'all won 5 East championships in a row. You know,
getting T-shirts. We don't got T-shirts. We ain't getting no T-shirts. Somebody get a T-shirt, send me one now. I ain't got a T-shirt.
All right. So moving along, rest of our show. Can't wait to see this SWAC championship game. But also in volleyball, later on tonight, Alabama State will find out who they play in the NCAA tournament. They are our SWAC champion in women's volleyball. So we want to give the Honeybees, we want to get behind them. Hopefully they can make some noise in the NCAA tournament for SWAC representation. But jumping on to the hardwood, G. Slim, did you play basketball at Alcorn also?
Absolutely. I sure did.
And George was a 2-sport all-star. You know, I mean, I grew up watching him play. But just to talk about some of the SWAC scores, and then we want to try to recap the MEAC and then also Bowie State's recap win. This week in SWAC basketball, we had your Alcorn Braves losing to Liberty. This is the men, 76-54. UAPB defeats the California Baptist University 115-107. Your Jaguars fought valiantly, but they fell to the Western Michigan University Broncos 85-70. Grambling defeated Niagara 74-68. Prairie View falls to Georgia Tech 65-54. Alabama State falls to Northwestern State University 70-66. Southern falls to North Carolina Central in a SWAC MEAC matchup 83-71. Georgia Braves fall to Savannah State in another MEAC versus SWAC matchup 80-76. Grambling falls to UIPUI 80-69. In the women, let's see, get this up. And we all know the SWAC have a tough pre-conference schedule, so we won't really be caring about what happens in our games until we get in the conference. But we do hope to have some upsets, as we had Texas Southern defeating Baylor. But this week's games, Texas Southern falls to Abilene Christian 81-39. Grambling State falls to Alabama 73-55. USM defeats our Delta Devils 67-60. That's promising, losing to USM by only 7 points. Mississippi State destroys Jackson State 105-38. My good buddy Tamika Reed got thumped by the Bulldogs, but we know that was a hard game. Mississippi State is nationally ranked. Troy University defeats our Delta Lady Devilettes 75-54, and Texas Southern falls to Nicholls State 58-57. That's all we have in the SWAC. Now, jumping over to the MEAC, we all know who's awaiting the winner of the SWAC championship game. The North Carolina A&T Aggies are fresh. They are rested, as well as your Braves, George, having this week off. But they're going to await the SWAC championship game's winner, and a national champion will be crowned. Also in the MEAC, Kels, this came as a surprise, but you let me know this when I saw this. Mike London leaves Howard to accept the Tops job at William & Mary, a place that he coached before, so he's going home. What do you think about Coach London leaving Howard like that?
I think in this case, going back to somewhere that you're familiar with, I don't think it's a bad idea. I still wanted to see what he was going to do, how the program was going to, because you look at how he had the season last year, where the team actually beat UNLV last season. So, was really looking forward to him at least the next, I say 5 years. I say at least at the minimum, to see where he could take the Howard Bisons. But I guess we won't get that chance as he's going home to his old stomping ground.
Yes, indeed. So I guess we're gonna find out who Howard hires as their head coach. Before we go any further, some Jackson State coaching news. John Hendrick feels like he should be the head coach of Jackson State, so he's gonna interview for the head coach position because he took Jackson State a win away from securing the SWAC East crown over the Alcorn State Braves. So he feels he's the best man for the job. So we're gonna hope to get some movement on the Jackson State coaching search soon, and I also see where Howard goes as far as hiring their head coach. I would like to see them hire the Undertaker Vincent Brown, a Mississippi Valley State Delta Devil alum, former NFL player. I would love to see him keep going with the Howard as far as taking on where London left off. Now, also in the MEAC, we had South Carolina State versus North Carolina Central. We picked this game, y'all. We all picked South Carolina State. And North Carolina Central made us all losers, coming back to defeat South Carolina State 21-17 in what is a very disappointing season for the Eagles. Even though they were losing their head coach, Jerry Mack, they brought back a strong team. So, they didn't quite match up well. After that shutout loss to the Eagles, they bounced back well, finished their season with a 21-17 win over South Carolina State. So, George, do you follow MEAC football a lot? I know you played in a couple SWAC MEAC matchups in your career. What do you think about the MEAC?
The MEAC is a formidable conference. Facility-wise, they get a lot of access to your top-tier players, your 3-star, 4-star players, and they do great things academically as far as their players going on career-wise. Not putting the SWAC down because we do as well, but I think the MEAC is a formidable conference. Has a lot of competition and have great games.
All right, so I guess we're gonna see what happens in this Celebration Bowl when the SWAC championship ends, and then I just like seeing our conferences play against each other. I mean, because it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing where our top schools go against their top schools and have magic on the football fields as we've seen these past couple of years. And that picture that you sent to me was a picture of you having a catch and run. I think that was against Hampton, right? A former MEAC school.
Yes.
So, all right. Now,
Hampton University. We played in classic over there in Jersey, in the Meadowlands, and and it was an awesome game. They didn't quite sell out, but the stands were full, and the excitement was there, and it was a huge feat. I did get the MVP of that game.
All right.
Right.
Now,
That's
jumping
some
over
of
to
that,
the
Alcorn bragging.
Listen to G Slim. Now, to jump over to the CIAA, we had Bowie State taking on the number 1 Valdosta State in the Division II playoffs. And Kells, the Amir Hall Magic wore out. The Bulldogs got whipped 66-16, but they went into halftime only down by 5, 21-16. But Valdosta State came out in the second half and shut out the Bulldogs, 17-zip in the third quarter, 28-zip in the fourth quarter. And my favorite HBCU quarterback's career ends on a losing note. But he's not done. He will be preparing for the NFL PA Bowl. So what do you think about Boise State's run in the playoffs and also Amir Hall's chances at possibly performing in the PA Bowl and impressing the NFL scouts?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Okay, so I got a backstory to my answer. While I was sitting and while we were in New Orleans at Bayou Classic, and this will feed into the answer. I was listening to Doug Williams. Got a chance to listen to Doug Williams, and I said this before, and I'll say it again. There is nobody that I know that pushes the HBCU agenda like Doug Williams. Nobody pushes that agenda as hard as he does. And to sit there and listen to him say, he was like, the best person in the NFL to him is Chris Bowie. To hear him say that, he was like, I am glad I have a seat at the table. He was like, they look at a lot of our kids and say that they're undersized. They think because they come from HBCUs, they can't perform, which brings me to Amir Hall. You'll look at him and you'll say he's undersized, he's not big enough. And I think you said this before, Digger, put him in the weight room. You can make adjustments and changes to all kind of things, but just give the kids a chance. And if you look at his numbers over the course of his career, it's just amazing. So again, in my opinion, the Deacon Jones Award goes right back to Amir Hall because he had an amazing career while he was at Bowie State. And, I don't think he got the exposure that he needed from the CIAA. He didn't get all of the support he should have got. But, just over the course of time, he had a very stellar career. Correct.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. I enjoyed you guys, and I like the energy. Go Braves.
Yes, indeed.
But other than that, I really enjoyed you guys.
Can you go live this weekend for us? Because I need to know what's going on. I got to know.
Well,
I definitely will do that. And I will let you guys know what's going on.
Yeah, if the game was on, hopefully I'm be in the press box. So I'll go. Well, it's gonna be on ESPN 3, so I won't be able to go live. Or I'll get kicked out, but G Slim can.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I'll give you some in-depth sideline action. See if we can get a couple of interviews before and after. So we get it going for you.
So Braves Jaguars Part 2. This is a big time matchup, and we're gonna see who's gonna win. So, Kels, go ahead and close us out.
All right. So, in my honest opinion, all I want is a great game, a competitive game, an injury-free game. You just want to make sure all guys are healthy, because no matter who wins, they still got to go on to play the Aggies. And the Aggies told me to tell whoever coming, they wait. They don't care if it's the Jaguars or the Braves. They say they just over there waiting. They waiting to see who's going to play.
Yes,
so they already talking to us. So we'll be here again next week, same time. See y'all next week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We'll be talking about the outcome of the SWAC Champion game next week. You have a good night. Thank you for calling the Black College Experience. Have a good night.